Hi everyone, this is Math Unit 1, Module 2, Session 3. Our teaching point is I can find the surface area of rectangular prisms. Some important vocabulary for today is surface area and volume. So our focus today is going to be on Brad's baseballs again, and we're going to be thinking about this question: how much cardboard? So today we're going to be determining how much cardboard it will take to make different boxes. And we're going to call this the surface area. So we've really spent several days determining how 24 baseballs could be arranged in equal layers so they can be boxed and shipped. And we have found that there is 16 different ways to do it. I think that if I were the company, I would definitely want to find the box that was the cheapest to make, which would be the box that uses the least amount of cardboard. And I'm wondering if all these boxes that hold 24 baseballs use the same amount of cardboard to make, or might there be some that need less cardboard than others? So here's the 16 different ways that the 24 baseballs could be arranged. And today we're thinking about which box would be the best one for Brad to make, which one would be the cheapest to make. But to know that, we need to figure out how much cardboard each box would need to make the box. So we have to figure out the surface area. So let's talk about what the difference is between volume and surface area first. So let's go back to volume. Let's do volume first, because volume is really what we've been focusing on so far. Here's a picture showing a rectangular prism, right? So the volume of this rectangular prism is 12 cubic units. It takes 12 of these cubes to make this rectangular prism, right? This is a 2 by 2 by 3. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. So we know that the volume is the total number of cubic units needed to fill a three-dimensional space. Today, we're going to figure out the surface area, though. So in this picture, I'm seeing this cube. This cube is a 2 by 2 by 2, and they have it unfolded into a net here, so you can see all of its faces, right? On any rectangular prism, there are 6 faces, okay? So the total surface area is the total amount of these little squares on each face, right? So for this box, this cube, it would be 24 square units, right? But the volume would be, well, it's a 2 by 2, so there's 4 on each layer, right? And there's 2 layers, so the volume would be 8. But the surface area is 24 square units. So the surface area is the sum of the areas of the faces of a three-dimensional object. All right, so surface area is really what we're going to be focusing on today. So I want to start with this prism. So I'm just going to show you the base. The base is a 4 by 3, right? There's 4 going along the top, 3 going along the sides, and then there's 2 layers, right? So it's a 4 by 3 by 2 prism. And I want to first figure out how could we find the total surface area of this rectangular prism, right? And to do that, I need to count all of these squares on every face of this rectangular prism. So to help me do that, I made a picture here. And here's what the picture's showing. So I made a drawing of all 6 faces. There's the top, right? So this would be the top, which is a 4 by 3 rectangle, right? The bottom, which is another 4 by 3 rectangle. The back, which is like here, which is a 4x2. The front, which is also a 4x2. And then the sides, which are both 3x2s. So there's one side, there's the other side, right? So to figure out the surface area, I have to figure out how many of these little rectangles, these little squares there are on all of these faces. Okay, and I don't want to go and try to count every single one. So I'm going to use this picture to help me. Well, I know that the top is a 4x3, right? So I can do 4 times 3, and I know that the surface area of this face would be 12. Okay? The bottom is also a 4x3, so the surface area would be 12 for the bottom as well. That makes sense. There's 12 there's 12 squares here. There's 12 squares here, right? Now thinking about the front is a 4x2. 4 times 2 is 8. And we call these square units. And the back is also a 4x2. So there's 8 cubes on the front and the back. And then now we have to think about the sides, right? Each side is a 3x2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. So if I want to know the total amount of squares on each face, then I need to add them all up, right? So that would be what we call the total surface area. So I can do 12 plus 12 plus 8 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6. Go ahead, pause the video, and think about what the total surface area is. And then by adding up those numbers, and then resume the video when you are ready. All right, so you probably figured out that, well, there's 2 faces with 12, that's 24. There's 2 faces with 8, that's 16. And there's 2 faces with 6, which makes 12, right? So if I add all those together, let's see, we have 6 and 4 is 10, plus 2 more would be 12, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our total surface area for this rectangular prism is 52 square units, right? And I always like to think of the most efficient way to figure that out, right? So I noticed that the top and the bottom had the same area. The front and the back had the same area. And then the sides also had the same area, right? And I used that to help me figure out the total surface area. All right, so remember, that was only for one of the possible combinations of 24 boxes, right? Or 24 baseballs. So we want to figure out the surface area of some other different boxes that you can make and see if it is more than what that one we just did, less than, so we can compare and figure out which one would take more cardboard to make. So in Seesaw today, you guys are going to see your lesson. Make sure you watch the video lesson first, which will have a link. And then you're going to complete some slides. It's really important to look at the example. You're going to be building different rectangular prisms and then figuring out the surface area. So in the example, this is a 1x2x12 rectangular prism. And then remember, you have to find the area of each face, and there's 6 total faces. Okay, so I just used equations, but you could use pictures too. And I wrote down the equation for each, the front, the back, the top, the bottom, the side, and both sides, right? And then I added them all up. So for this rectangular prism, the surface area was 76 square units. So already I'm noticing that that was more than the one that we just made earlier. And then when you click add response, you'll be doing the same work where you will be building certain rectangular prisms. Like the first one is a 1x3x8, finding the area of each face. And again, you could do equations or you could do pictures, and then adding them all up to find the surface area. So you'll do that for a few other combinations of 24 cubes. And then you'll answer the question, did each rectangular prism have the same surface area? Which one should Brad use? And then you'll be done. All right, that's the lesson for today. Just do your best. Bye.